Well, brothers and sisters, God bless you. Welcome to another episode of Faith and Nation. My name is Deacon Alex, and I want to give you guys another update as this is just happening today as well. Donald Trump had met with King Abdullah from Jordan. He's the king of Jordan, and Donald Trump obviously is doubling down again with his plan to, basically take out all of the Palestinians out of Gaza and send them over to some of the neighboring Arab countries. And so today marks the first visit with an Arab nation, and it comes from Jordan. And so this is King Abdullah. Now, during this meeting, King Abdullah and both Donald Trump, they were talking to the press. And obviously, the hot topic is, what's going on with Hamas, what's going on with Gaza, what's going on with the Palestinians. And so Donald Trump are basically answering questions in regards to this. And so one of the questions that was asked to Donald Trump was, under what authority, under what authority do you do this? And so this is exactly what he says.
And Mr. President, take it under what authority? It is sovereign territory.
Under the U.S. authority.
And that's basically it, under the United States authority, that they will take Gaza. Now, this is where the liberal left will, basically begin to try to gaslight you and make a play on words. Is the way that she asked it. She said, under what authority are you going to take a sovereign territory? And so Donald Trump asks and responds and says, under the United States authority. Now, to be a sovereign nation basically means that you are independent, that you're not dependent upon somebody else. Well, let's face it, Gaza has never been sovereign. It's not a sovereign territory because it has always been dependent upon Israel. Israel has brought electricity into Gaza, water, food, you name it. So by that definition alone, they are not a sovereign territory. They're not a sovereign nation. They're not a sovereign state, and they're not a sovereign territory. They're a very dependent territory. And so, and again, it belongs to Israel. That's who it belongs to. I will say that Donald Trump did have discussions with the Jordanian king about taking Palestinians, and of course, the media asked the Jordanian king about it, and the Jordanian king basically just gave some diplomatic answers. He was very political. He's answered just like a politician does, because you can tell, the Jordanian king, he's kind of representing the rest of the Muslim world, and he's doing it in a very political way. And, the Arab world isn't really for Donald Trump's, plan. Donald Trump likes to seem to think that they are for his plan, but they're kind of not. The Jordanian king did agree to receive 2,000 children that are in critical need of health care. And so, but that's kind of just the humanitarian side of things. And let's face it, it's a humanitarian thing if all the rest of the Arab countries do go ahead and take the Palestinian people out of Gaza, because they have hardly any running water. They have hardly any hospitals left, thanks to Hamas, thanks to, the rule and leadership and the iron fist of, the Hamas rule. But it would be a humanitarian thing. And so that would be the way to go. If Hamas would either lay down their arms and then there's no more Hamas, okay, well, that's part of what Netanyahu said would need to happen for the war to stop. Hamas has to lay down their arms. They have to be dethroned, so to speak, no longer in power. And, humanitarian aid can come in freely. Release the hostages, and there's no war if those things happen. But obviously those things aren't happening. And so now obviously now you have Benjamin Netanyahu, who is essentially parroting exactly the same thing that Donald Trump did yesterday about releasing the hostages at 12 o'clock. And if the hostages are not released by Saturday at 12 o'clock, then Israel's going back to war. The ceasefire is over. Hamas basically now has come out and reiterated their commitment to the ceasefire. And of course, they're accusing Israel of jeopardizing the ceasefire. As I mentioned in the previous video, that this is basically just a blame game. But Netanyahu says Israel will end the Gaza ceasefire if the hostages are not returned on Saturday. And of course, Hamas is not wanting that. Without hostages, they have no negotiation. They have no leverage on Gaza or America without those hostages. So if they give up the hostages, then there's nothing left for them to be able to use to negotiate. And so you can see why these hostages are very important to Hamas. And so, time will tell. We've got till Saturday at noon to see what happens. And look, I mean, this is Gaza. It is a war zone. It is completely destroyed. There's nothing left. It just needs to be cleaned out. And so where are you going to put these people? So what actually makes sense? I mean, who's doing the actual humanitarian thing here? Wouldn't the humanitarian thing be to send these Gazans over to these Arab nations? But then you have the left that are going to play the high moral game and the moral road and say no, you're displacing them. You're ethnic. This is ethnic cleansing. But this is what they want them to live in. It's ethnic cleansing, but this is what you want the Palestinian people to live in. It's like, come on, get a break. Give me a break here. How would you expect anybody to live there? And so it's a no wonder that these people want to leave. And I know this post is coming from January 30th, but I mean, this is only 11, 12 days ago, where this woman from Gaza, following the ceasefire, she says, "We have gained nothing from the war. Our houses are gone. Our children are gone. We're going back to rubble. I hope Turkey takes me and my daughters in." And so that's what you have. That's what you have in Gaza right now. And if given the opportunity, I almost guarantee you at least half, if given opportunity, if their lives were not in jeopardy, if they didn't have a gun to their head by Hamas, and if they were literally asked, would you like to leave and go to another country and live? And hey, look, we've got a house, we've got running water, you can live there, there's health care, there's food. You mean to tell me that most people would want to stay there? I doubt it. I doubt it. And so, what is the most humanitarian thing? The most humanitarian thing to do is to have these Arab nations receive the Palestinians. But you know why they don't? You know why that they won't receive them? Is because they want Israel destroyed. And the Palestinian people are the foot in the door. And the foot in the door keeps on getting smashed and smashed and smashed and smashed. But the Arabs don't want to remove that foot from the door. They want it to continue because that's their leverage to destroying Israel, is the Palestinian people. And so they want them there. They don't want them to be free. So when people start chanting free, free Palestine, free Palestine, it's the Arab people that want them enslaved there, that want them in prison there, because they're not receiving the Palestinian people. But I digress. And so that's just the situation. And you know what? Donald Trump is changing the game a little bit with the discussion. And the more we talk about it, the more I think it actually begins to make sense. Now, in the long run, prophetically, well, we'll have to see. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Be sure to follow us on X. A link to that is in the description. And also, we have a new YouTube channel, Faith and Nation. I've also got a link to that in the description below. Please go like, share, and subscribe to the new YouTube channel. Thank you guys for watching. And remember, let's rise up and faith the nation.
Fire have to come up on the land one day. Fire have to come up on the land.